Welcome to Prague in the Czech Republic for the first of the 5-race 2022 ICF Canoe Slalom World Cup Series. 220 athletes from 36 nations will contest the canoe slalom and extreme slalom events on this artificial channel on the River Vltava over the course of the weekend. And our course designers Stefano Cipresi and Yuri Preskovic have set a challenging 23-gate course for our athletes to navigate. The crowd are starting to gather here at this venue here in Troja, on the outskirts of the historic city. And we're eagerly anticipating the start of the semi-finals in the women's canoe and the men's canoe events this morning. Perfect conditions again. 22 degrees, very little wind, and well, this great amphitheatre here, the crowds get so close to the action and the athletes really buzz off the experience. We've got plenty of Czech paddlers involved in these semi-finals, so we can be assured of a good crowd and a lot of noise. But one thing we're assured of when we're here is also the support of the crowd for all the competitors. Here's our timetable, and we have the semi-finals, which will get underway very shortly, and then 11:30 Central European time we have the finals. The women's canoe final first, and that'll be followed by the men's canoe final. So this is the start list. 30 boats went through in the heats on Friday. And now these 30 boats will race off in this semi-final in reverse order of their performance in the heats for just 10 places in this, the first World Cup final of the season in this women's canoe category. So last off will be Gabriela Satkova of the Czech Republic as the winner of the heats in the first round on Friday. Some big names. We've got all the big names on this start line. The Olympic champion Jessica Fox of Australia. All the Olympic medalists, actually. We've also got World Cup champion Teresa Fisarova of the Czech Republic, and the European champion also on the start line, Mallory Franklin of Great Britain. So the women's canoe, well, the canoes are kneeling in the boat with a single-bladed paddle, and we're underway with racing. The first of our competitors, all the way from New Zealand, Hannah Thomas, is on course. So this narrow channel here on the Vltava River in Prague, it's quite renowned in terms of course design, to really challenge the athletes by taking them from side to side, really using the gates to create the challenge. But our course designers, Stefano Cipresi and Yuri Preskovic Sr., have set a challenge which really utilises the water features, and well, big mistake there for Hannah Thomas of New Zealand. Looks like missing gate 10, certainly at the moment missing gate 11. Well, a 2-second penalty awarded on gate 10, gone back for 11, so no major penalty to be picked up on there. And Hannah Thomas now looks to rebuild her run down the bottom part of the course. Now, as I was saying, in terms of course design, then our course designers have really used the water features on this Prague course, which is pretty relentless as the competitors come down. And the bottom part of the course in particular has a lot more of a technical demand. Here from 17 onwards, we've got this critical move under the bridge. I think it looks like Hannah Thomas is going to go for a double spin through the downstream 18-19. Then you've got to end up tight into the penultimate upstream, gate 20. And then you've still got 3:21. Important to be tight. And then you've got to control your bows, stay clean, and most importantly, time your strokes through the waves through the final 2 gates. So Hannah Thomas, our first competitor for New Zealand, stops the clock at a total time 1:32.32. And well, that mistake in the middle will not help her chances of progressing through to the final, that final later on this morning. 11:30 Central European Time. And of course, you can follow all the action live here at Planet Canoe. So our next competitor, Michaela Corcoran of Ireland, on course now. So we've got 2 splits on this course. Split times giving us an indication of how the competitors stack up against those already down. And Michaela already showing 2.72 down on the top split. That's compared to Hannah Thomas of New Zealand. But of course, Hannah had big problems around the gate 10, gate 11 area. So we would expect Michaela to come out of this section on the second split with potentially a bit of an advantage. We could be perhaps anticipating that the women's canoe run times will be getting down towards the 108, maybe 108, 110 second time. Later on, as we get into the top boats, we've got the 3 Olympic medalists from Tokyo 2020 in this start line, as Michaela Corcoran just has to loop round on 19. That's costing her dearly on the clock. So 3.95 the advantage, but that has been eaten away, and I suspect has now become a deficit. So now coming into the upstream 21, in and out nicely, but late to the gate 22, and you can see takes the touch on the bows of the boat. That's a 2-second penalty for any second place for Michaela Corcoran of Ireland. Well, here's a name to watch, because it's Kimberly Woods of Great Britain on course now. Kimberly struggled a little bit in the heats, qualifying through on the second run and had penalties, but a very capable paddler and a former European champion in this event, and 3 times a World Cup winner. So not one to be ruled out at any time. And 1.85 the advantage on the top section for Woods of Great Britain as she goes into the upstream gate 14. Having to work quite hard there through 15 and 16, but importantly keeping it clean as she comes now towards the tricky sections, 17, 18, 19. This is where you can make or break your run. Beautifully done there by Kimberly Woods. A little bit just checking her paddling. You can see she switches the blade so that she can hold the entry pole and get the exit. And Woods of Great Britain now 13 seconds up on the lead time, Hannah Thomas, and looking to find even more time on the bottom. Beautifully done. Now it's all about digging deep into the reserves and sprinting for the finish. Kimberly Woods of Great Britain will stop the clock, 1:14.88, and sets the new benchmark to chase. Well, she'll be pleased with that. Penalties were costly in the heats, and well, will that be enough for a place in the top 10? Well, she'll have a long wait, but she'll now just focus on her warm down, and preparing, hopefully, for the final later on. So next on the course, Nelly Bain of Germany. She was 9th at the European Championships just a couple of weeks ago in Liptovsky Mikuláš in Slovakia, so no stranger to being in a final. 14th at the Under-23 World Championships last year, and an emerging paddler on the circuit. Germany, of course, had a great Olympic Games in Tokyo, winning medals in all 4 events. And well, nicely done on this, what we might call it a standard move, 12 to 13. By a standard move, the athletes would have practiced that move in all sorts of different scenarios, but you've still got to deliver when it counts. And well, nicely done by Nelly Bain there. So 4.39 seconds down on the split, but that includes 4 seconds of penalties. So it is a competitive run here, but this is where Woods of Great Britain, our current race leader, was very strong indeed. Nicely through 19, You have to pick up the wave into 20, and you can see Nelly just dropping a little bit low, having to work a little bit harder than she would have liked. We'll just pay for that with a, well, a few tenths of a second slipping away on that section. 2 gates to go for Nelly Bain of Germany. And I have to say, it looks like Kimberly Woods has been given a 2-second penalty. Not sure which gate on, but the lead time now 1:16.88 into second place for Nelly Bain of Germany. So with 4 boats down, I should say, Kimberly Woods still leading for Great Britain ahead of Nelly Bain of Germany, as we watch Eva Alina Hocevar of Slovenia on the top of the course. So the grandstand starting to fill up here with eager anticipation. We have 3 Czech boats in this women's canoe semi-final. And of course, we'd anticipate the grandstands to be very full and very noisy as we get into finals time later on this morning. 11:30 Central European time. You can follow that live at Planet Canoe. And of course, we've also got the extreme slalom later on today, 4:30 Central European time, for the head-to-head racing, the new event for the Paris 2024 Olympic Games, men's and women's extreme slalom. Don't miss it, 4:30 Central European time. So looking here at Eva Alina, she is still in touch, 3 seconds down on Woods of Great Britain as she comes into the penultimate upstream gate. The upstream gates are the red and white gates. There's 6 of them in this 23-gate course. The rest of them are downstream gates, the green and white gates. And Eva Alina certainly showing her class. She's made 4 World Cup finals. Her personal best is 4th in the World Cup racing. So you can expect she will challenge for a place in the final. Into second place, 1:21.62. So the race lead still held by Kimberly Woods of Great Britain. Then it is Eva Alina Hocevar, then Nelly Bain of Germany. But early stages, remember, 30 boats racing in this women's canoe semi-final for just 10 places in that women's canoe final later on this morning. Avi Liebfarth of the United States of America on course now. She won a bronze at the Junior World Championships in 2021. And despite being only 18, she already has 2 World Cup medals to her name. Finding it a little bit sticky at the top part of the course. Having to just rebuild her run there, rebuild the momentum. Nearly 5 seconds dropped on the top part of the course. So critical in canoe slalom to really work with the water. Look for where the water can help you. As soon as you fight the water, you're losing valuable time. And Avi does look like she has found a little bit more rhythm. She's working in harmony, and now this section through 17 to 20 will indicate whether she has just got back into the groove. No, she's round the back. She drops low on 19. She won't get a penalty on that, but that will cost her on the clock. Probably a couple of seconds. It does enable her to get in and out tight on the upstream gate 20. But Avi Liebfarth of the United States of America just, well, she had started to claw back some of that deficit, but I suspect it will have extended again. Importantly, though, she is clean. No penalties on her score, and this is going to challenge for maybe 3rd place in the early stages. And there we have it, into 3rd place, 1:24.95. Avi Liebfarth of the United States of America goes into 3rd place. Remember, only 10 places in the final, and we have some big, big names to come down this 23-gate course. Next, for Slovakia, we have Zuzana Pankova. European champion at junior level in 2021 and 6th at the Junior World Championships in 2021. So a name to watch. Just 17 years old. And, well, she's up on Kimberly Woods, the race leader for Great Britain at the moment. So a good top section. Now, drops off the back a little bit from 12 to 13. But she doesn't panic, and really damage limitation there. She minimises any time loss. She really does have a good smooth approach to her run. Looks like she's working well with the white water. It's unusual on Prague to have a gap between 16 and 17 there. There's a whole section where the athletes are tempted to really get back up to speed. But equally, you've got to take the pace off as you come into 17 to deliver this run. And she is up on Woods of Great Britain by over 2.5 seconds. Are we looking at the new race leader? Well, we're looking at the virtual race leader. Zuzana Pankova of Slovakia. Now, 2 gates stand between her and the top spot on the leaderboard. It's a nice line to the finish. The time to beat is 1:16.88, and well inside that, a great run for the junior European champion of 2021. Well done, Zuzana. You've still got a long way to see whether that is enough, but you've done what you can. Well, next up, on course, it is Monica Doria Villarubla of Andorra. She sets off in this women's canoe semi-final. Just seen Zuzana Pankova of Slovakia setting the pace in the early stages. We've still got the fastest boats from the heats to come in this semi-final. But the penalty's mounting up for Monica Doria as she comes down towards the middle section of the course. In and out of the upstream gate 13. Now Monica Doria was 11th at Tokyo, also 11th at the World Championships in Bratislava in 2021. And very capable. She's a very experienced paddler, based in La Seu d'Urgell in the Spanish Pyrenees, just over the border from Andorra. And we'll be going there, of course, for the World Cup final at the end of the season. That's at the beginning of September. 5 races in this World Cup series, and double points up for grabs in race 5. But this is race 1, and the job today is getting through into the final. And myself, Andy Maddock, I'm talking you through, and I am delighted to welcome Brodie Crawford into the commentary booth from the Australian team. Welcome, Brodie.
Thank you very much, Andy. How are you going?
Good, thank you, yes. Well, really eagerly anticipating, really, the start of the season. It's we've 6 months since we've really seen everyone competing together, and we can see who the movers and shakers have been over the winter.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to be back to international racing. Looks like we've got a very exciting C1 women's semi-final today. It's off to a fairly quick start with Pankova there with a 1:12. So it's going to be interesting to see what sort of times these girls can lay down this morning.
Yeah, I was thinking about this. The women's kayak managed 102 seconds yesterday. I was thinking we'd be looking around the 108 to 110 to certainly to secure a place in the final.
I think you're bang on there. I think around the 110 will be final mark, potentially. See what Jess Fox can do. She usually gets pretty close to the men, so.
Well, and of course, when she won her Olympic gold in Tokyo, she was actually quicker in the canoe than she was in her kayak.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was a pretty amazing feat. Yeah, she can be really quick in the canoe when she's on. So, yeah, excited to see her come down, as well as the Noemi as well, being an Australian. 2 in the final is always good.
Well, and we won't have too long to wait for Noemi, but let's focus on course. Miran Lazcano for Spain is on course now. So She was up on the top section on Pankova of Slovakia, but the time has slipped away a little bit on the second split. And now a penalty picked up on that downstream gate 19. All sorts of problems. Was she deep in 20? Is that another penalty? It is confirmed.
Yeah, there appears to be just so much time on this bottom section of this course. It's really make or break down here. You can tell the difference between the athletes that are lactically fit and the ones that are struggling. They're losing a lot of time down here on the bottom section.
Well, race leader, Zuzana Pankova of Slovakia. That time, 1:12.67. And into third place for Miran Lazcano. So getting towards a third of the way through this women's canoe semi-final. Here we're live in Prague in the Czech Republic. And Zuzana Pankova leads for Slovakia ahead of Kimberly Woods of Great Britain and Miran Lazcano of Spain. So Brody, just talk through a little bit how much learning will have gone on. The canoes watching yesterday's action. Do we expect much learning from yesterday?
Yeah, absolutely. You can learn a lot from, even though they weren't watching canoes yesterday, they're still watching the kayaks, and a lot of the lines are very similar. The positions you need to put your boat in during each sequence is similar, so yeah, you can get a lot of feedback from watching the K1s, and yeah, it's great to have a switch up in the classes, and the C1's going off second now. I'm enjoying it.
Well, on course, Marjorie Delassus of France. A few problems on the top section, including a 2-second penalty, but looking like she's really got the rhythm back. A little bit of contact there with the obstacle, I think, in the upstream gate 14. You don't get a penalty for that, but clearly you will pay a price on the clock, and a penalty picked up on 15. So, Brody, it's so easy on this course, particularly with all these waves, to just take those little annoying touches.
Yeah, it seems, watching yesterday as well, there was a lot of touches, a lot of fiddly stagger sequences, lots of downs one after the other. You've got to be really online, and the paddlers that are sticking to the middle of the gate seem to be being rewarded by keeping the speed on and staying clean.
Well, Marjorie Delassus on course now, coming through the last gate. She, despite those 4 seconds of penalties, she is still in touch, but I suspect that will prove costly when it comes to making the difference between a final or just being eliminated at this stage. And into third place for Marjorie Delassus of France. Well, here's a name to watch. Ana Chatila of Brazil, who is always in the mix, always competitive, and a real attacker of the course. I love her style.
Yeah, absolutely. Potential to lay down some really fast runs, so this should be a good indicator, hopefully, of what the finals time might look like.
She's a World Championship medalist. She's been to 3 Olympic Games, I think. London, then Rio, and then Tokyo.
Looking good so far, looking smooth. Little touch on 6, but plenty of time to make that. Oh, just dropping off that stopper move. Now she's got to expel a lot of energy, try and get back up to that stagger. She has time to make it up, but she's going to have to really work for it.
Yeah, it's one of the toughest moves on the course, isn't it? The sort of 8, 9, 10, 11, particularly that kick from 9 to 10. That caught a lot of big names out yesterday.
Yeah, amazing how many big names being caught out by that stopper move. Looks really tough.
So 3.4 down on the early split, and Anna will be wanting to make sure she can come back firing on this bottom section of the course. Give her a bit of big water, then she's pretty good. Now, this is that open section that is really unusual when you paddle on Prague. It's normally gate to gate to gate.
Yeah, that's right. It's kind of nice to have a little bit of breathing room there for once on this course. She's done that spin very well. Nice late spin, not waiting for it.
Nice and tight into the upstream 20. Really using that, it's that wave, isn't it? Just after 19, you've got to get the spin nice, but you've got to ride the wave so you get tight into the upstream gate 20. But there are reviews going on at gate 10 and 15, but no penalties awarded at the moment. The gate judges will say what they see, essentially report that goes live onto the screen, but there are video judges who will review the penalties, and you can see a penalty has been added on to both gates as a result of that review. So that is expensive. And Ana Chatila only 9th. That's a shock.
Yeah, wow. Well, wasn't expecting that. not her day today, unfortunately. But now on to Naomi Fox. See what she can do. It's a good start so far. Touch on 3. But plenty of time to make that time up yet in this course.
So Naomi Fox of Australia, very capable paddler, and she paddles in the kayak as well, but this really is her discipline. She's an under-23 world medalist in this event, and always has a very smooth, fluid style, a bit like her mother's style when she used to paddle in kayak.
Yeah, absolutely. The Fox style is very smooth, not wasting very much energy. It's very nice to watch. And she's going pretty well. She handled that stop and move quite well. I think that's going to be key in this C1 Women's semi-final.
So yesterday we saw the women's kayak event, and of course Jessica Fox on her birthday taking her first win of the season. I think it was her 36th World Cup win.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
So pretty impressive, and actually I think certainly she was the first off in the final, and I don't think she actually anticipated. I'm not sure she was first off actually, but big problems for Noemi. But she was certainly early off in the final. Didn't think she'd done enough, but in the end it was enough for another race win and a great start in the World Cup Series for 2022.
Yeah, absolutely. Noemi just over-edging, it looked, with the upstream edge onto that stopper move and almost capsizing, making her miss that gate. And this is where it really hurts, when you make mistakes on the bottom and you've got to work even harder to make the time up. It's brutal. Your arms are burning, they're heavy. But she's pushing to the finish, it's good to see.
Yeah, it's unfortunately dropped low into the upstream 21. There's a bit of time there, but then a bit late into the final, well, penultimate downstream. So Naomi Fox of Australia only into 11th place, and that's a provisional result, but disappointment there. It won't be a final for her today. Zuzana Pankova still leading for Slovakia, ahead of Kimberly Woods of Great Britain, and then Marjorie Delassou of France, as we look at Emanuela Luknarova on course now for Slovakia.
Yes, interesting to see a few big hitters have gone down already in this semi-final. Yes, I think it's a real opportunity for anyone to sort of get into this final. If you can just get to the middle of the gates, keep the speed on, it's anyone's day today. This Prague course is very unforgiving.
Yeah, the course designers, well, what do you think of the course design? Stefano Cipresi and Yuri Priskovic Sr. have set the course. Is it what you were expecting?
Yeah, I think it's a good course. It's challenging. It's not probably quite as tight in some places as Prague normally is, but it's got a good amount of everything. A few good stopper moves. So yeah, it's still Prague-esque. Lots of tough moves consistently down the course the whole way. So
yeah,
testing.
I characterised it as being often in Prague the gates make you do the hard work, and I think the course designers a little bit have let the water do a bit more of the work than the normal.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Yeah, for sure.
Well, this is a great run coming together. It's clean. Oh no, it's not. Sorry, there's a 2-second penalty on gate 19. Emanuela Luknarova of Slovakia. Of course, Slovakia leading at the moment with Zuzana Pankova. And now the time slipping away. There's so much time still in the bottom section in those last 3 gates.
Yeah, absolutely. It looked like a fairly strong finish, but yeah, just a few little offline moments and seconds pass away very quickly.
So only 6th place for Luknarova of Slovakia. Next up for Ukraine, Victoria Dobrotvorska on course now. Already a 2-second penalty on the first of the 6 upstream gates.
Yeah, just looking up, we've had almost 14 paddlers come through, 2 clean runs so far. So clean runs are key. If you can get a clean run, you're probably going to be in that final today.
And how important, if you make a mistake early on in the course, how difficult is it to refocus?
Yeah, I feel like it can go two ways. It can make you kind of, panic, or some paddlers will take a little bit more risk and it will pay off and they'll be really quick. We saw that last year. I'll never forget watching the C1 men's final. Lucas Rohan touched gate 1, an easy gate, and then he just flew down. It was amazing to watch.
Yeah, it was a bit like that yesterday with Jess Fox. She clattered,
yeah, that's right, yeah.
Clattered the first upstream, gate 2. And, well, it certainly didn't faze her, but she's pretty experienced now to deal with those kinds of things.
Yeah, absolutely. sometimes it can be hard to stick to the line that you wanted to stick to before you touched, and some paddlers get caught out trying to, you know, go too fast, too tight, and it snowballs. But yeah.
Well, Dobrotvorska of Ukraine having problems at the bottom section. 9 seconds down on race lead time. Pankova of Slovakia under the bridge, and a few more problems coming through 18 and 19. This bottom section, the power and the speed of the water is what catches you out when you've got fatigued arms, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It requires a lot of strength and good quality strokes. If you can't pull in your paddle because you're tired, it's brutal. That spin move, you're stopping the boat, you've got to start it again and again into the up. It's really hard up to push into to get close to the wall. If you're tired, you just drop low.
So only 13th place for Victoria Dobrotvorska of Ukraine. The top three still: Pankova of Slovakia, Woods of Great Britain, Delassou of France. As we approach now the halfway point in this Women's Canoe World Cup semi-final. We're live from Prague in the Czech Republic for the first World Cup of the 2022 season. And on course now, it is Elena Borghi of Italy.
Yeah, just struggling again with that stopper move, but she's done a quick spin, got herself back on line, which wasn't a bad option considering. It was a good save. Let's see if she can make up that time that she's lost there. A nice up left 13, sorry. High into 14, that's very good. Just keeping the speed on.
Yeah, she's keeping this run tidy. She's not quite really attacking the course, but she is making sure she's precise. But 4 seconds of penalties, there's no margin for error. Look at the time.
Well, that was very
away.
good there, though. That was very good through the spin. So she's probably made a bit of time on everyone else in that move. Can she carry that on to the finish?
So 7.3 down on the split. That second split being critical. Her penalties that have been awarded are being reviewed at the moment by the video judges. Now, nice line through the last two gates. This is where you just have to dig deep. And it is going to be challenging for a top four position and into fourth place. 1:20.16. And Elena Borghi of Italy goes into fourth place. The top three remains unchanged.
It's going to be tight for Borghi. What are we, halfway through the semi-final? So we'll touch and go for her, I think.
Next up, Alexandra Stack of Poland. On course, 22-year-old. Of course, we'll be looking forward as well to racing in the second World Cup of the season on home water in Krakow. That'll be next weekend, so you can follow that live at Planet Canoe, all the action in Krakow for the second race of the season. Well, that was a great line through 8-9, high risk, but good reward.
Yeah, very tight, but yeah, 50-second penalty has been awarded on that gate 8. It looked very tight, the neck snapped right back. It's always a little bit worrying when you see that. Yeah, hasn't quite put her whole head in the gate there, obviously, so 50-second penalty has been, we're under review, so potentially could come off.
Yeah, I have to say, I'm not a judge, but I did think that she had got her head into gate 8, but we don't have the best camera angle. I know the video judges particularly have a number of different camera angles that they can review it, but certainly at the moment, Alexandra, I always say, she did leave the judges to make the decision for her.
Yeah, absolutely. I think any time you see the head goes so far back and you're looking at the sky, you know you could be in trouble.
Well, penalties adding up, and I think 18, it doesn't look like a whole head went in there. Certainly hasn't managed to. Well, she can go back for 19 because she hasn't negotiated gate 20, but you can see the run slipping away. And a 50-second penalty awarded on 18.
Yeah,
unfortunately, it's all gone wrong.
Looked like she hit the wall there going into 18 and sort of rejected her backwards, making her just miss the gate. All part of fatigue, probably. Losing a little bit of focus.
Well, whilst it's unfortunate for the young Polish athlete, I have to say, when you see someone in trouble here, you do just get perspective for those people less familiar with the sport and just how powerful the white water is and just how good the athletes are.
Yeah, absolutely. incredibly difficult to do what these girls are doing today. Yeah, they make it look easy, but it's far from easy. It's very, very, very tough.
So next on course, Lorraine Roisin of France, 21 years old and making her debut here in Prague. Early penalties picked up on the course, and they're, well, destroying what looks like a really fluid run.
Yeah, lots of penalties stacking up early, making it hard for herself, that's for sure. But I guess there is still time. There's still time in that bottom section that she could still push for a final potentially if she really, really flies down this bottom section.
Well, she's certainly not put those mistakes at the top of the course. Well, she's put them back at the back of her head because she's very much focused and looks like she's found a groove. But is it a little bit too little too late? 9 seconds down on the split. That's going to be a big ask to make the top 10 and start again from zero in the final. Beautifully done though through 18, 19, 20.
Yeah, very nice spin. Snuck in the spin, but yeah, sort of got the boat turning in the right spot, carried the speed. Not too bad in the last up, a little bit sideways, hitting the eddy, which made it lose a little bit of speed, but it's a pretty solid finish here.
So coming towards the finish now, Lorraine Roisin of France crosses the line, 1:24.26, and well, it's a good fast time, but those penalties, 8 seconds in penalties added on, and only into 8th place. Pankova still leading for Slovakia, ahead of Woods of Great Britain and Delassou of France. Next, Marta Bertoncelli of Italy on course. Olympian and, well, very experienced paddler despite being just 20 years old.
Yeah, very good. She's having a great start to this run. Middle of the gate, speeds on. Whoa, just sneaking in the spin there. Not the perfect line, but she's keeping the speed on the boat, which is good. She's clean, which is key.
Yeah, having to work hard to get across for 10. Now we'll end up a little bit, well, it's good.
Very nice through there.
The two-time Junior World Championship medalist, very experienced, and look at the, she's really got the feel of the water, so critical to a fast time here.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to be fighting the water, you want to be using every little wave, every ripple to try and assist you get down the course rather than trying to work against it, and she's doing that really well today. She's sticking to the middle of the gates for the most part as well, which we haven't seen too much of yet.
So no penalties showing yet, but there are video reviews going on gate 8 and 9. But she's in touch with the split. 2.9 down, but now she has to recirculate for 19. She keeps it clean, but that's probably a couple of seconds gone.
Yeah, 2 or 3 seconds there. We've had a few people struggle with that now, just not turning up enough and catching enough of that wave into the spin move.
So we're live from Prague in the Czech Republic. Myself, Andy Maddock, alongside me, Brodie Crawford of the Australian team. And we'll bring you all the action here at Planet Canoe as we determine who is going to be through in this women's canoe semi-final to that women's canoe final later on this morning. Bertoncelli of Italy crosses the line, 6th place. And, well, still showing clean, although the reviews have not quite concluded yet. Pankova for Slovakia still leading, 1:12.67. Klaudia Svalinska on course now.
Yeah, oh, a little touch there on gate 5 by Klaudia, but a very good start apart from that. A great accomplished kayak paddler as well. Another girl doing both classes. Very nice spin there through 8. She set herself up well for this stopper move.
We see a lot of the female paddlers. Oh, she's missed gate 11, so she gets herself into the eddy, but it's a long paddle back to get back up.
Yeah, perhaps swapping and not maybe the right moment there. Her paddle wasn't in the water because she was swapping sides right when she needed to be gripping the water and pulling, and yeah, just drifted shy of the gate.
So she avoids any penalties there, but the penalty will be on the clock, probably 7 or 8 seconds.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be tough from here, but it's going to help that she's staying pretty clean.
You can see the focus in her eyes. certainly still absolutely on the task, but flips, catches an edge of 15 to 16, and well, there's no way back from that. Unfortunately, a 50-second penalty almost certain on gate 16.
Yeah, it's always tough when you flip over in the race. Very fatiguing. I think maybe that recirc earlier got to her. She lost focus, because you wouldn't normally see Claudia sort of making those sort of errors.
No, that's well. It's not just the focus, is it? It's also, I mean, she had that long paddle back. That's
absolutely
just
right.
adds that fatigue that you hope to use the energy somewhere in a more positive way, lower down on the course. So it's not going to be for Klaudia Smolinska of Poland on this occasion, and we are starting to get into the position where we will confirm our finalists, and certainly our current race leader Zuzana Pankova of Slovakia looking very certain for a final. Kimberly Woods for Great Britain in second at the moment, and Marjorie Delassou of France sitting in third. Both those, all three paddlers stand a good chance of a place in the final, because nothing's guaranteed in this sport.
Yeah, for sure. I think our 110 cutoff might be a little bit off today. I think we're looking more like a 118 maybe. We'll see.
Well, here is the world champion of 2021. It is Elena Lilik of Germany, and well, she has set off how she finished the ICF season last season, already with nearly a 2-second advantage on the top split and attacking this course.
Yeah, just brushing the up 13, just getting stuck a little bit on the poles, just brushing it with the shoulder. But she's flying so far, she can absorb that touch, no problem.
She was third overall in the World Cup last season, and well, she still has the advantage as she goes into the business end of the bottom section of the course.
Here we go. Very nice spin. Well, just struggling a little bit to catch the wave, but fixing up the error quickly.
This is a solid semi-final run, isn't it? She's not taking too many risks. She's running the boat well, but absolutely what is required. And surely she's going to challenge the race lead with this.
It's a nice last upstream as well. Kept the boat running in high.
So the world champion of 2021, Elena Lilik, is coming to the finish line for Germany. Crosses the line just outside, 113.52 into second place. But surely that will be good enough for a place in the final.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's definitely in. Very solid run by Elena.
And that does bring us with 10 boats still to go in this women's canoe semi-final. So we will start to confirm our finalists. The final, of course, 11:30 Central European time. You can follow that live here at Planet Canoe as we watch Lucy Baudou of France on course.
Yeah, great start again, clean. She's really whipping the turns fast in the upstreams. This is a really, really quick start.
Just a little bit sticky on gate 8, but that's important to set up this move through 9, 10 and 11. Penalty picked up on gate 9, but nicely through 11. Good very reactivity tight there.
Yeah, she's picked up the touch, but she's done that very well. I think she's made a lot of time on the other girls there, so I think we'll see that in the next split. I think she should still be in touch.
So the top three with 10 to go. It is Zuzana Pankova leading for Slovakia, ahead of Elena Lilik of Germany, Kimberly Woods of Great Britain. That's the top three. And Lucy Baudou now coming down to the second split. We'll see whether she's held on to that. Well, she has closed the deficit, but having said that, she's just picked up another 2-second penalty.
Whoa, getting surfed in that stopper a little bit deep, but a good save there to keep the height and make it into the spin.
Yeah, she doesn't panic. She keeps her calm.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just saying, it looks like such a measured run. Like, she's really paddling within herself. She knows what to do to make the semi-final. Nothing crazy.
She is a very experienced paddler. She's a regular finalist, but never made it on the World Cup podium. So maybe today's the day. But you've got to get in the final first, and it looks like Lucy will... Well, she's just slipping away a little bit into 5th place, so she'll have a long wait at the bottom of the course to see if that is enough. But that does mean that Zuzana Pankova of Slovakia, our current race leader, is in the final. On course now, Victoria Wolfhart of Austria. coming down through this tricky offset sequence on the top part of the course and into the second upstream, gate 6.
Very tight in there into up 6. She's looking very good at the top again, middle of the gate, speed on. Will she go for the spin here? Oh, a little bit tight. Picking up a penalty there.
You can see just how hard she's having to work to keep the boat online. And now she's late to 11.
She's done well. She was late through that whole stagger, but she's managed to just make it work. Very, very impressive.
Well, she won the European Championships here in 2018 here in Prague. So she will have good memories of this place. But now 2 touches showing. And Victoria can't afford to pick up any more penalties.
Yeah, that's sort of a bit of a hectic start for her. She needs to now sort of reset and just, yeah, get back to the game plan for the bottom section. She can make up the time.
Well, it's great to see Victoria back properly. I know she struggled with injury for the last couple of seasons and took some time out at the end of the 2021 season after the games, but she's low on gate 19, having to recirculate, and more time ticking away on the bottom of the course. So at the moment, for automatic qualification, then 1:13.52 is the time to beat. Victoria's going to be outside of that. It's all about whether she can do enough, and I feel that it's slipping away.
Yeah, I think so. Another one losing it at the bottom of the course again. It's just brutal down there.
So Victoria Wolfart of Austria stops the clock, 1:26.62, outside the final in 14th place.
Yeah, that was a tough run, a little bit offline from the top, and then missing that wave on the spin. Just, yeah, so much energy to try and keep the boat online.
Well, 3 Czechs still to run in this women's canoe semi-final, and the first of them is on course. It is Martina Satkova of the Czech Republic. And, well, you can hear the crowd just starting to get a little bit noisy as they want their competitors in that final. Quite a surprise yesterday, no Czechs on the podium yesterday.
Yeah, it was. But, yeah, it looks like we're seeing a bit of a masterclass here of how it's done, using the features perfectly. Satkova, I bet, knows them like the back of her hand, and she's making everything work for her at the moment.
Well, 1 second up on the top split, and like I say, she just looks so composed, and she's not taking risks, but she is finding the lines.
Yeah, just making those tough moves look easy, just putting the boat exactly where it needs to be to pick up the stoppers and the waves.
Still holding the advantage as she goes under the bridge into this tricky little 18-19 sequence. No problems there for Satkova of the Czech Republic.
Yeah, this is a lovely run. Still clean as well.
So 3 gates to go. Not easy gates, but you first got to get tight into 21.
Very good through 21. Smooth, boats running. This is going to be quick.
So the time to beat, 1:12.67. It's going to be close, and is it going to be inside? Just outside, but into second place, and most importantly, into the final. Well done, Martina Satkova. You are in the final.
Yeah, that was a beautiful run. Just sticking to the middle of the gates, and the way she used the features, that's what we're all trying to do. It helps when it's your backyard, but yeah, very nice nonetheless.
Next up, Sophie Ogilvie for Great Britain, coming through the top section through gate 3 and 4. And well, Brody, just talk us through how important is it to really find the rhythm in the first few gates?
Yeah, it's really important to try and, especially if you're nervous, like those first few gates are where you sort of, settle into your run. It sucks if you touch a gate or something those first few gates, because you get a little bit unnerved. But yeah, you just want to be smooth in those first few gates and sort of build into the run.
Well, it's probably Sophie Ogilvie has missed gate 10. I'm not sure from this angle whether she can go back for it from there. And, well, she can.
She's done well to get up there.
But that will cost her, be an expensive time loss on the clock. So 7.9 down on the first split, and I think that was before the time loss on gate 10. Sophie Ogilvie is a European Championship finalist in 2019. She has made 2 World Cup finals.
Yeah, she's a great young paddler. Very hard to break into that British senior team. So, you know, if you're on that team, you're very good and very young still. But lots of learning to come, and I'm sure she'll take a lot out of this semi-final.
Well, a nice line through 17 to 18. But I think just a touch to the back of the buoyancy aid on 19, and that's now been confirmed. So she's really found some pace and the rhythm on the water, but I think it's a little too late.
Yeah, just too much time lost in that that recircuit at the top there. But good to see her fighting all the way to the finish, you know.
So what's bad news for Sophie Ogilvie is good news for Kimberly Woods, her compatriot, because that confirmed Kimberly Woods into the final. So Sophie Ogilvie stops the clock. 134.44 in 19th place. Disappointment there for Great Britain. But Kimberly Woods joins Elena Lilik, Martina Satkova and Susanna Pankova in the final with 6 boats still to go. Next up, Mallory Franklin for Great Britain. Olympic silver medalist and European champion from just a couple of weeks ago in Liptovsky Mikuláš. Wow, nearly 3 seconds up on the top section. She has found her groove on the top.
Yeah, she's flying. It's always good to watch Mallory. She usually takes more aggressive lines than perhaps the other girls might take. Yeah, so if she's on a good run, she's usually flying.
Well, she buried her boat there, 12 to 13, but most importantly, she delivered the move tight into the upstream. Mallory was 4th yesterday in the kayak event. And, well, I think she won 4 medals at the European Championships across the team events, extreme slalom, and the kayak and the canoe event. So she had a busy weekend there, but a penalty just eating away at that advantage. But the job for Mallory here is to make sure she qualifies through into the final.
Yeah, just missing the gate, the wave from 19 to 20 there, but she's done well to fight on that second wave into the upstream. She's going to really need to finish strong here. She's lost a lot of time on this bottom section.
117.13 is the time to beat for automatic qualification into the final. So I think she might be in there, but it might be close.
It's going to be close, very close.
So we'll have to wait and see. 117.13, it's going to be outside of that and into 6th place for Mallory Franklin of Great Britain. So she'll have to wait, but Marjorie Delassou of France, well done, you're in the final. Well, Jessica Fox of Australia is now on course, the Olympic champion from Tokyo 2020. And, well, she's won pretty much everything in the sport, but still hungry for more. It was her birthday yesterday, and she stood on top of the podium in the kayak event. How good would it be for her to take a double victory here in Prague?
Oh, no.
Well, that's a 50 at the moment.
Yeah, she's got to go back. Oh, she's going to have to work really hard to make this. Oh, it's a long recirc.
Wow. Well, we weren't expecting that. She went for the spin. Just almost was a bit early on the spin.
Yeah.
And caught it on a helmet. Her head didn't go the correct way around the pole. So Jessica Fox is on the back foot now as she comes. Yeah. She needs to settle it down, get gate 11, and then rebuild. Well, if anyone can put that mistake behind them, it's Jess, but it's a big ask now.
It is a big ask. She's going to have to really fly down this bottom section.
13.8 seconds lost on the top section. Well, you'd never rule Jess out after a mistake like that. But, well, the further down the course you get, the harder it is to find any time. And, well, this is unexpected.
Yes, very, very rare to see Jess make such a major mistake like that. Just shows how hard it really is to put down a great run, especially this course in Prague. It's so unforgiving. So
17 seconds now, the deficit. Surely there's no way back for Jessica Fox of Australia. She's low into 21. And wow, what a disappointment. But of course, we will see Jess in the extreme slalom later on today. But we all would have expected her to be in the final. She's not going to be in the final. So bad news, the Olympic champion from Tokyo is outside and provisionally in 20th place. So
big shock.
Good news for Mallory Franklin of Great Britain, because Mallory Franklin is now confirmed into the final. Here is, for the Czech Republic, the World Cup champion of 2021, Tereza Fisarova, who, well, similar problems on gate 8, but this time it goes the right side of Tereza's head, and it's a 2-second penalty and no paddle back required.
Yeah, Fisarova was looking great yesterday in kayak. She's having what seems to be a very good weekend, so I think she's going to, put down a blistering run here. She knows this course so well.
So there is a review on gate 8. The judges will be just checking her whole head and at least part of the boat across the gate line.
Yeah, it did look very tight, I thought, even when she put the head through, so it will be interesting to see what comes out of that review. So
Tereza had a great season last year, as we say, World Cup champion, and she is up on the second split. So our virtual race leader on course now, 6th at the Games in Tokyo as well.
Oh, silky through the spin. That was very nicely done. Textbook.
Well, she's very much on course for a place in the final, assuming that review is okay on gate 8. We're expecting a 2-second penalty on there. There's no doubt she hit the gate, but she'll be hoping the judges felt she negotiated the gate correctly. Well, this is a quick time coming from Tereza Fisarova, and may well challenge for the race lead. It does indeed. And Tereza Fisarova of the Czech Republic provisionally into the race lead and into the final. Well done, Tereza. So we now have 3 boats to go, and Fisarova, Pankova, Satkova, Lilik, Woods, De La Sue, Franklin are confirmed in the final. Victoria Us now on course for Ukraine.
So far so good, looking smooth, really nice first upstream, settling into this run very nicely.
Yeah, she was 7th at the Tokyo Olympics last year and fresh from 4th at the European Championships in Litovsky Mikuláš in Slovakia just a few weeks ago. Nicely done. That's how to do it on gate 8. Yeah, we've seen Fisarova and Fox struggle. No problems for us, but rejected 9 to 10.
Oh my goodness.
I think, is she out of her boat? No, it looked like she was coming out of her boat, but Victoria Us, well, she has definitely got a 50 on gate 10 so far. She can cancel that out, and on 11, but the time loss is significant.
Yeah, she did well there to stay upright. Looked like, she was bending, almost sideways out of her boat there. Hope she hasn't strained any muscles. It looked pretty brutal on the shoulders.
And if you take a roll like that as well, you kind of it just affects your breathing and everything else, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. You feel like, you feel knackered after you come up from a roll. And when you're on the crossbow side like that, it's really, really, really hard on the shoulders. Can easily sort of strain a muscle.
Well, great to have Brodie Crawford of the Australian team alongside me, Andy Maddock, as we watch the sharp end of this women's canoe semi-final here, live from Prague in the Czech Republic. And Victoria, you wouldn't know she'd had that big mistake in the middle of the course.
An impressive finish to the run here. That was perfectly done on the spin. She caught the stopper across just on top, and she's running the boat nicely to the finish here.
And no penalties on her run. So speaking of penalties, Tereza Fisarova of the Czech Republic confirmed as race leader. Her result now confirmed after the review. And Victoria Us, disappointment today, and only in 20th place. So France have another boat in the final. Lucy Bordeaux joins the others in the final. 2 boats to go in this women's canoe World Cup semi-final, and on course Andrea Herzog, the world champion of 2019, and already some reviews on the penalties on the top of the course.
Oh, just missing the spin. She's just a little bit low and not being able to catch that wave out, which is very important for this next move, which we know has caught a lot of people out. Oh, not picking up the stopper there. Just got to be perfect there, don't you, Andy?
Yep, it's tough, and she's had another problem on gate 11, the Olympic bronze medalist from Tokyo 2020, in all sorts of problems. And, well, we'll get an indication around about gate 17 what that really means on the clock, but surely Andrea can't make it into the final with those mistakes at the top.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough from there. It's amazing. I can't remember the last time I've seen so many good paddlers not into the final and making such huge errors.
Yeah, and I thought, we'd be perhaps looking at more errors around the 18, 19, 20 sequence where Andrea's coming to now, rather than on the top part of the course. But you take nothing for granted in this sport, and it's certainly no forgiver of reputations, really. You can be the Olympic champion, multiple world champion like Jessica Fox, but whitewater can be brutal.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's so unforgiving. No one gets away with much when it comes to whitewater. Got to be on it.
So Herzog of Germany, the world champion, the Olympic bronze medalist from last year, is going to be outside of the final here in Prague and only into 20th place. So bad news for Germany, but good news for Italy. Elena Borghi, you are in the final. So one boat to go, and it is for the Czech Republic, Gabriela Shatkova, the 2019 European champion, junior world champion, under 23 world champion.
So good there through the spin, and here as well, perfect. Oh, I think that's the best we've seen.
Wow.
So good through there.
3 seconds up on the top section. Well, you can't win the race on the top, but we have seen plenty of people who have lost the race on the top.
Oh, just over edging in the up, doing all the hard things, right, and then just, it's funny.
She almost did it too well, didn't she? She was so tight on the pole, she had to wait and drifted into the far side. But 2 seconds down, still not a problem for a place in the final if she just keeps it together on the bottom part of this 23-gate course. So advantage has now turned to a deficit, but that is comfortably okay for a place in the final.
Lovely through there, picking up the stopper perfectly, running the boat, middle of the gates. This is a really nice finish.
So Gabriela Shatkova of the Czech Republic showing us just how well she knows this water.
Just millimeters off the wall there into the upstream. So hard to do, but giving her the best line into the up.
Well, she's going to be outside the lead time, but only just. And she stops the clock in 4th place, 1:13.05. Well done. Gabriela Shatkova joins Martina Satkova and Teresa Fischerova for a 3-boat Czech final.
Yeah, the Czechs showing everyone how it's done. It was particularly in all the key moves where you had to pick up stoppers, the real edgy, tough balancing moves. They nailed them like they were easy.
Well, that was a sensational women's canoe semi-final here in Prague. And we've seen Jessica Fox, the Olympic champion, Andrea Herzog, world champion and Olympic medalist, eliminated at this stage. But the Czechs are in a strong position. Teresa Fisarova will go off last in that 10-boat final. And here, well, here are the people that missed out. Then some big names missed out. Ana Chatila of Brazil, an early runner. But there, Jessica Fox, Andrea Herzog, both world champions, both Olympic medalists. They won't progress into this World Cup final. So the World Cup final, of course, in the women's canoe will take place at 11:30 Central European time. So join us in just over an hour and a half live at Planet Canoe. But don't go away, because we are now going to have the men's canoe semi-final here in Prague. Perfect conditions, the sun is shining, no wind. We've got a filling grandstand, and the men's canoe, the top 30 from the heats on Friday, have progressed through into this semi-final run. Here's the start list. They race in reverse order of their performance in the heats, and 30 boats are racing for just 10 boats in that World Cup final later on this morning. Some big names in this again. We've got the Olympic champion, European champion from Slovenia, Benjamin Savcek. Well, we've got lots of big names. Denis Gargaud-Chanou, the World Cup champion of last season, and of course world champion, Olympic champion from Rio. And well, it's a bit of a who's who of men's C1, and myself, Andy Maddock, will talk you through it. And I'm delighted again to have alongside me Brodie Crawford of the Australian team to give us a bit of an insight from an athlete perspective. It's a bit of a mouth-watering start list.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's going to be a very exciting semi-final. Lots of big hitters in there. Some big hitters going off early too. I think we have Ryan Wesley in the first 10. So we should see some blistering times early. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where the mistakes unfold, whether we see a similar trend to the women in that 10, 11, 12, 13 stagger and the bottom. Yeah, I'm very excited to see this semi-final.
Certainly a caliber field packed full of top quality athletes, and only 10 places up for grabs. We're underway with racing, and first off, Jean-Pierre Bourri of Senegal gets the opportunity to set the pace for everybody to follow. So yesterday the men's kayaks were around about 94 seconds. What are we thinking to win this semi-final? It's, in my opinion, definitely under 100, probably around 97. What do you think?
Yeah, I think maybe I'm going to say 98. So yeah, around the same mark, I think.
It's always harder to predict where the cutoff is, as we've just proved with the women's canoe event.
Absolutely. Just getting caught up on that stopper there, losing a lot of speed, having to re-accelerate the boat's always tough. Back on track now.
So Jean-Pierre is a two-time Olympian. He was 17th in Tokyo and an under-23 World Championship finalist. So no stranger to the kind of pressure that you experience on the World Cup circuit. And, well, always good. We've got a World Championships in July this year, albeit it's towards the end of July, which is much earlier than normal in Augsburg in Germany. And, well, Brodie, talk us through a little bit. How has that changed how people are preparing for the season?
Yeah, it's interesting. I can't remember the last time we had a mid-season World Championships. I think obviously everyone's prep probably started a little bit earlier as far as fitness and all that sort of stuff. I kind of like that it's midway. You don't get as burnt out. Sometimes when you've done 5 World Cups and then a World Champs, you're pretty knackered. So I think it's a nice change, and hopefully everyone comes in nice and fresh.
Well, Jean-Pierre Bourri stops the clock for Senegal with a time 1:13.98. That does include a 2-second penalty. Next up for Ireland, Jake Corcoran gets his semi-final campaign underway. The Irish team really starting to emerge with a few paddlers in all categories who are capable of making a final.
We've got 3 in this semi-final today, I think. I believe.
Two,
Two.
I think. But there's definitely two Irish paddlers, but yeah.
No, they definitely have improved a lot, and yeah, they're turning into very quick paddlers.
Nicely done for Jake through there. A little bit on the edge, but it's worked for him. 8 seconds up on Bourri of Senegal.
Yeah, Jake's a strong paddler, very versatile. Can really whip his way around the gates, and he's 8 seconds up at the moment. So putting down a great run here.
Well, let's watch on this bottom part of the course. Jake Cochran has delivered the top section, put himself in a great position. Now he's got to make sure he holds on to that, looks for any further advantage, but doesn't take too many risks.
This is where the arms are burning here in this bottom section. Got to keep the speed on the boat. A few strokes into there, probably a couple too many strokes, but still a very solid finish from Jake here.
Well, Jake Cochran of Ireland puts in a great run. It's going to be just over the 100 seconds. It's just that 2-second penalty at the bottom, but 105.68 stops the clock, and well, quite rightly, he should be pleased with that. And let's just finish the debate, because there are 3 Irish boats in this men's canoe semi-final, and Jake is the first one who has really set the standard. Next up, Peter Linkstead for Great Britain sets off, the newest member of the senior team for the Great Britain team. And of course, David Florence, the 3-time Olympic medalist, 2-time world champion in this canoe event, this C1 event, retired in the spring. So
yeah, those 3
big boots to fill.
Yeah, those 3 senior team spots have been locked away for so long in that GB team. Yeah, great to see Linkstead in here, an opportunity to race a World Cup, and off to a good start. Couple of touches, but the speed's on the boat.
Well, good line there, confident line, 12 to 13, lots of upstream edge, and really trying to carry that boat speed, and Peter makes that work for him in the middle part of the course. But yeah, those 2 touches early on would be hampering a progression into a first World Cup final. Peter's no stranger to a final, Wade Junior World Championship final a few years ago. And look at that, 8.5 down, but that's more reflection of a good run from Jake Corcoran, our current race leader for Ireland. Nice through 20, in and out, sneaks under the pole, and Peter Linkstead has found the groove on the bottom section.
Yeah, great finish to his run here on the bottom section, keeping the speed on the boat. Yeah, the last sprint, dig deep for this last sprint, and the arms are absolutely burning. Great to see him finish strong.
He stops the clock, 1:11.76 into second place, and well, he has made up a bit of the time, and those 4 seconds of penalties will be what makes the difference in the end. Cochrane leads ahead of Linkstead and Bourri in the early stages of this men's canoe semi-final here in Prague. Well, Tristan Carter of Australia on course now. Tell us about your teammate.
Yeah, Tristan, he has the ability to go very fast when he's on. He's a super smooth paddler, great technique. Yeah, just super balanced, flat boat a lot of the time. Very good on stopper moves, so that should help him on this course, I think. And so far, very solid start to his run.
Really attacking, and yeah, like you say, he's really making it work for him. 1.25 down, that's really in touch. I think Jake was particularly strong on those top gates, the current race leader.
Yeah, I mean, Tristan looked good up there, so it shows how fast Jake was at that top section.
So switching the blade into the upstream gate 14. Oh, scrappy touch on the run into 14, just almost probably starting to think about the exit.
Yeah, I think so, bang on. Oh no, just getting caught on that stopper.
So good recovery there, catching the edge, and doesn't pick up any further penalties, but will just lose a little bit of time on the clock. But good spin.
Yeah, very nice through there, on top of the stopper. lots of speed into the spin and out of the spin. That's what you want to see.
So Tristan won the Oceania Championships earlier on this season. Now looking for a place in this World Cup final here in Prague. 2 gates stand between him and the finish line. Now he will power his way down, but well, reviews going on gates 13 and 15, and currently into second place, 110.46. And well, the top section wasn't quite repeated on the bottom.
Yeah, just losing his edge in that stopper, and yeah, that's where he lost a lot of his time in that run, unfortunately. But a great effort anyway from Tristan. Well done, mate.
On course now, Zhang Zicheng of the People's Republic of China sets off through gate 3 and 4. Nice, and again attacking, but we've got no real option. We've got such a class field here on the start line that you want to leave nothing on the river. Yeah,
absolutely. To take one of those top 10 spots in the C1 men's semi-final is incredibly difficult. You've got to absolutely go for it. Great to see China in the semi-final.
And very nicely done through that 9, 10, 11 sequence. Just that penalty on the upstream gate 6 at the moment for the People's Republic of China. But this is a competitive run.
Yeah, looking very, very good. Good speed in and out of the ups. Pretty good through the saggers, very good through that stopper move.
Well, now it's time to consolidate. Yes, he's closed the deficit to 2.6 seconds, and time to really make sure. Oh, he drops below 19. That's critical. Already got the penalty. Now just needs to get the gate correctly.
Yeah, having to work around gate 19 there, losing quite a bit of time.
So unfortunately, there's a few more reviews going on. I think some of the reviews at the top part of the course are just, he was so good and so dynamic around the gates. I think it's just the video judges doing their due diligence and making sure there's no penalties to add. But at the bottom of the course, I think there were a few gates to have a little bit more of a closer look. As Zicheng Sang of the People's Republic of China stops the clock in 5th place, 114.92, including 6 seconds of penalties.
Great to see a big smile at the finish line there. It is always, yeah, it's a pleasure to race in the semi-finals and finals, so good to see him. Excited to be here.
So on course now for Italy, it is Raffaele Ivaldi, 4th at the Europeans a few weeks ago, and always a fast attacking paddler.
Yeah, Rafi can be super fast, very aggressive and strong paddler.
He's a World Cup medalist, he's an under-23 World Championship medalist, and yeah, as we're saying, really exciting start, and we saw a bit of that there.
Yeah, getting caught up in that stopper, but adapting really well to pick up the next 2 gates.
Just throwing the boat around, and you can see how hard he's working on the crossbow as he exits the upstream gate 13. So 2.9 down on the top section. There is a review on gate 10, but no penalty showing at the moment. So it's probably just to check the whole head is through the gate.
He's made up almost a couple of seconds. Oh, and just dropping below, another person dropping below 19. Shows how difficult that move is.
Yeah, it's quite a tricky move, isn't it? Because you see some people get such a nice clean line through 17. They're almost carrying a little bit too much boat speed on 18.
Absolutely, yeah. I think bottom of the run, you're trying to, get to the bottom as fast as you can, but you have to have the discipline to slow down a little bit above that 18 move, or you can wash through the next wave.
Well, Raffaele Ivaldi looks like maybe a penalty on 22, and that's now confirmed. So it's all slipping away, and he knows it. And into 6th place, and it won't be a final on this occasion for the former World Cup medal winner. Well, here is the second of 3 Irish paddlers in this men's canoe semi-final. Liam Jigou on course.
Liam's another really smooth paddler, very dynamic in how he turns the boat. has the ability to go really fast when he's on a good run. A few medals at the junior and under 23 level, and a World Cup medal, I believe.
He won the World Cup in 2020.
That's right, yeah.
Po on his home course, and I think Liam, when he finds the groove, then he's very, very fast indeed. And nicely done there. He spots the line and he attacks it. Of course, he went to the Tokyo Olympics last year, finishing 15th. That was disappointing for him. I know he wanted to, well, I think he said it's unfinished business. I think he'll be coming back hard for Paris in 2024, but it looks like he'll have competition for that place.
Yeah. It's always good to have healthy competition.
So, Jake Cochran, the race leader. Well, now Liam Jigou is our virtual race leader because he is up by nearly a tenth on the second split and very tidy through 19 to 20.
Yeah, looking really good. The Irish showing us how it's done today here in Prague.
Well, not as tight as he might have liked at 21. Loses the boat speed by contact with the wall. You don't get penalised for that except on the clock. And Liam Jigou now challenging the race lead time. 105.68 the time to beat. It's going to be inside that. The question is how much? 102.79. Wow, that has set a new bar to chase. Well, he found time at the bottom despite the upstream 21.
Yeah, amazing amount of time down there. Just goes to show that bottom section. Just unbelievable how much time there can be in those last few moves.
So 7 boats down in this 30-boat men's canoe semi-final. And the top 3, Liam Jigou of Ireland leading ahead of Jake Cochran of Ireland and Tristan Carter of Australia, as we watch Takuya Haneda of Japan, the Olympic bronze medalist from Rio 2016, on course. So had a bit of a disappointing season over the last couple of seasons, but very capable of making it into this 10-boat final.
Yeah, a little bit tight there on gate 8. Just trying to cut the line, probably thinking about that next stagger before he was there. It is pretty daunting, but he's back on it now. Picking up the wave well there on the stop and move, in and out of 13. This is back on track now for Takuya.
Yeah, very experienced paddler. In fact, he made his first final at World Cup level in 2006. So no problems with that experience. And of course, this course here has hosted the World Championships on 2 occasions, 2006, 2013, and a multitude of World Cups and European Championships. Well, Takuya just, it was on such a good run through 18, 19, 20, lost sight of the pole really, didn't he?
Yeah, and then opting for the swap as well for a couple of strokes there. It's uncharacteristic of Takuya.
So 2 gates to go, but penalties showing at the moment. There's 4 seconds of penalties showing on the clock, but there are reviews ongoing for other gates as well. So it's not going to challenge the race lead. Currently good enough for 3rd. So Takuya Haneda of Japan into 3rd place. Liam Jigou still leading for Ireland. Next up, Ryan Wesley of Great Britain, European champion on this course in 2018. He's a 2-time World Championship medalist. And he's been really struggling for the last few years with injury, and it's great to see him back and hopefully injury-free.
Yeah, so good to see Ryan back. Such a nice paddler to watch. Shoulder injuries did he have? So good to see him back at it, and I'm sure he is going to be putting down a great run here today. He was looking good in the qualifications.
Looking very smooth through the top section. He's found an advantage over race leader Jigou of Ireland, and he's navigated that nemesis of some people without a problem. That was where we saw some big names in the women's canoe event come unstuck, including the Olympic champion Jessica Fox and world champion Andrea Herzog. But Ryan Wesley has the advantage on the top part of the course, but he goes a bit wide through 16, picks up a 2-second penalty.
Now let's see how he negotiates this last tricky move. Pick up another touch. Just those last couple of stopper wavy moves just not quite putting the boat in the right spots and picking up penalties, which are going to hurt him here at the finish.
Yeah, because he dropped a bit of time as well in that middle section. He went down under the bridge with a deficit on the split time. And now, since then, he's picked up another penalty. So Ryan Wesley shrugging off 22. And, well, there may be a video review on that, but at the moment, no penalty showing. Ryan Wesley crosses the line, 107.27. Currently good enough for third, but plus 4 seconds of penalties. Then, again, fast and clean is the name of the game. And
yeah, absolutely.
I think those penalties could be significant for a place in the final.
Yeah, such a nice top half of the course there from Ryan. Just, yeah, the bottom. Taking another victim again.
Robert Hendrick now for Ireland sets off on his run. Well, at the moment, Ireland are 1-2 in this men's canoe World Cup semi-final. Can they make it top 3? Well, Robert has taken a high-risk move on gate 6.
Yeah, very, very, very tight. He's left that one up to the judges. We'll have to wait and see. Definitely an aggressive start. He's leaving nothing out there, Robert. He's going for it.
Well, he has picked up a touch on gate 10. It looks like gate 6 was okay. And he was in touch on the early splits. And, wow, he committed to that crossbelt.
Yeah, just looking a little bit tight on all the gates, I think, which has cost him a little bit of run on the boat.
Well, gate 6 is being reviewed by the video judges, but let's not panic, because that would be a fairly standard practice where someone has really cut the line super tight. So let's watch Robert Hendrick now coming over this tricky 18-19 sequence. Nicely done there.
Very nice.
He'll now get onto his onside, try and take that tight exit, and most importantly now, get tight into the upstream gate 21. And yet gate 6 has been reviewed and is clear, so no problems there.
A little bit low in that last up, but kept the speed on the boat. So it'll be interesting to see what sort of time we see here. Right.
So 2 touches now confirmed on the run for Robert Hendrick of Ireland, 110.30 and into 5th place. So still, Liam Gigoux leads for Ireland, 102.79 with 10 boats down in this 30-boat men's canoe semi-final. 20 boats still to go, and of course they are the fastest 20 boats from the heats. So now on course it is Gregor Hedvig of Poland.
Comes Gregor. He's got that classic Polish power, paddling with a lot of speed, a lot of aggression. Yeah, another guy that can really put down some blistering runs when he's on his day.
You're right, and I guess I'm reading from that, and my opinion would be, yeah, he's super fast, but not that consistent at finding the lines.
Yeah.
He was 4th here at the World Cup in 2019, and he has he's got a bit of a reputation for putting in some blistering semi-finals, but not necessarily following that up through in the final. But he's in touch. He was, well, effectively, he's picked up a touch on gate 13, 1 second down on the top split. In touch with the race leader, Gigoux of Ireland.
Losing a little bit now in that middle section. On another touch there, I think, above the bridge. So the mistakes are starting to pile up for Hedwig here. Oh, and another one on the spin. It's all sort of coming on undone for him down here on the bottom section.
Yeah, there's no way back from 6 seconds of penalties for a place in the final. And unfortunately, Gregor Hedvig of Poland, while super tight into 21.
Yeah, another person hitting the wall there. It's a little bit, it's been a bit common there, losing speed on the boat from that nose touch.
Another penalty added on. And, well, Liam Gigoux holds the lead for another boat down into 8th place for Hedvig of Poland. And not sure quite what that means. The margins are tight, certainly in this sport of canoe slalom, but Gigoux leads for Ireland ahead of Cochrane of Ireland and Wesley of Great Britain. And next on the course, Roberto Colazzingari of Italy. Of course, a World Cup winner in 2019 in Tartzen. We'll be travelling to Tartzen in 2 weeks' time for the 3rd World Cup of the season. We're in Krakow next weekend. then in Tartzen the following weekend, so you can follow all that live at Planet Canoe. But stay here for this men's canoe World Cup semi-final. The final start with the women's canoe final at 11:30 today, Central European time. And he's up on the top part of the course, throwing that boat
yeah,
around.
he's flying. This is a great start. Roberto's super smooth paddler. Blades always in the water around the ball, very tight there on 13. Oh, and just picking up a touch on the exit. But he was so fast on the top, I think he can absorb that touch if he just stays on it.
Right, now he's got to just refocus, and he's done that. Look how powerful he is. Each stroke making it count. That's the key to all parts of canoe slalom paddling, but particularly in the canoe events. But another penalty, no doubt about that, on gate 18.
Yeah, he'd made up the time on that first one too. He'd gained a second and a half on Liam, but then giving it away again with another touch.
There is a review going on the upstream gate 13, so we might have to, well, there was perhaps a question as to whether his whole head went in the gate line, but we'll leave that to the judges. Roberto Colazingardi finishes his run. It's a very quick run, but stops the clock, 106.84, and, well, that is into third place with 6 seconds of penalties, but it is still under review. Gigoux leading for Ireland, ahead of Cochrane of Ireland, and now Colazingardi of Italy.
Yeah, blistering run there from Colazingardi. Without those touches, he was, flying. Bit of an indication of how fast we might go today. Speaking about fast.
Well, yes, Sideris Tassiadis of Germany on course, who, well, he's a two-time Olympic medalist. He is multiple European champion and a multiple World Championship medalist. Never won the world title yet, though. But we're going to Augsburg in a few weeks.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough place to beat him there, I think. He's so fast. Last weekend, I think it was, the ranking race, he was unbelievably quick on that course.
So he's a European champion, 6 European Championship medals. So look at that, top 0.23, the top section. He is very much in charge on this run. I would expect to win this semi-final and, well, avoid a little bit of a nervous wait at the bottom. Then you've got to go sub 100.
Yeah, I think so, to have that guarantee sub 100.
Well, he's held on to the advantage. It's been trimmed by 100th at the moment. And Tassiadis of Germany looking supreme on this exit of gate 20. Now he's got to hold it together for the last 3 gates. Super tight on 21.
Yeah, very nice.
He'll be pleased with 21 now. He's just got to hold it together, stay off the poles, and surely we're looking at the new race leader. Tassiadis of Germany is going to challenge the race lead and into the race lead. He knows that's good. 101.79. Germany's Sideris Tassiadis goes ahead of Liam Gigoux. And now Jake Cochrane holds on to third as we approach the halfway point in this men's C1 final. Semi-final, I should say. Well, on course now for France, it is Mouan Tabliki. And setting off, another young French paddler. Well, the French have got a superb number of high-quality boats in their men's canoe event, haven't they?
So much depth, it's unbelievable. Every year you see someone new and you just can't believe, how quick they are. 18 years old. It's amazing to see him here and racing so fast.
It looks like really racing without fear. Look at that, a second up on the top section over Tassiadis of Germany, our current race leader.
Yeah.
Mouan Tabliki of France now, super tight in and out of 13. Of course, such as a competition, people like Cédric Joly couldn't make the team.
Yeah.
It's
crazy. World champions missing the team. It's a testament to the depth they have in the sport in France.
Well, coming through 17, this is where it can all come undone.
Oh, very tight there. Oh, yeah. Just not setting up enough, I think, for that move, cutting it very tight.
So lost a little bit of time in the middle, but now significant time at the bottom. not only the recirculation, but a touch on gate 19. So Moen Dublici of France is now coming into the final 3 gates. Tight in 21, that's good. Oh, that's quite a brave, tight line on the exit.
Yeah, no stroke.
Relying on the punt.
Yeah.
Which is perfectly allowed. You can punt off the wall, you can do what you like, just don't touch the poles. So crossing the line, Moen Dublici of France goes into 4th place. So yeah, disappointment there for the young French paddler, but I think he'll reflect on that and there'll be lots of positives to take away.
Lots of great stuff in that run. Very impressive to see from such a young paddler.
Well, next up for Slovakia, Marko Mirgorodski, who was the big talking point of the World Cup season in 2021. He led the World Cup and was super consistent. Unfortunately, at the end, in the final, he didn't manage to take the World Cup title. In fact, he got knocked out of the top 3 because it's a double points race.
Ah, yes, brutal finish.
But definitely one to watch, and very capable of taking the race lead here. Currently held by Sidiris Tassiadis of Germany.
Yeah, so far looking really good. Oh, so tight, but well negotiated there through that last sequence of the staggers. He's looking good so far.
Yeah,
keeping the speed running.
It really does look like he's found the rhythm, the groove on the top section, and that's so important coming into this, particularly down the bottom. If you know you're kind of mistake-free, you can just stick to the plan. You don't have to take any more risks than necessary. And look, he's got the advantage coming into the bottom part of the course.
Oh, and perfect through the spin. This is looking really fast.
And effortless.
Yes, yeah, it's often when it's working well, it's also effortless. It's a win-win situation.
So he's a 2-time junior world champion. He's an under-23 world champion. In the end, he finished 5th in the World Cup overall last season. But he'll be wanting to get his World Cup campaign off to a good start. And this is looking sub-100. Marko Mirgorodski of Slovakia takes the race lead and goes under 100.
Very impressive.
Yeah, impressive stuff. Well done, Marko. Surely that is into the final. We are at the halfway point now. 15 boats down, 15 to go. But I think Marko can go and get changed and start preparing for that final.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's safe. He's in.
Well, next up for Slovenia, Ondřej Berčič in his distinctive yellow and black boat. He's raced in throughout his career. Of course, Slovenia taking a gold medal in the men's kayak yesterday with Peter Kauser, the oldest paddler on the field. He won't like me saying that, will he? In the men's kayak field. But he used his experience and took the gold medal here to get his World Cup campaign off to the perfect start.
Yeah, like a fine wine.
So 0.96 down, Berčič of Slovenia. But, well, don't forget that's comparing it to Mirgorodski's time.
Yeah, just missing the stopper on that move there, so costing him a few extra seconds and strokes. But apart from that, it's looking like a very smooth run, middle of the gates.
Yeah, Ondřej always looks like the kind of solid, smooth paddler. He never sets the world on fire, but he is quick.
Yeah.
And he's always in contention for a medal. Never rule him out. 0.96, look, you see, oh, sorry, that's the top split. 5.5 down, so he has lost time, but he is still in the mix for somewhere around 4th place at the moment.
Yeah, losing 5 seconds in that middle section, it's amazing. Like, it didn't look that bad, but when you're just off the lines, the time can just bleed away.
And Mirgorodski was superb through like 11-12 and the double upstream 13-14. So Berčič of Slovenia now finishing his run, and time slipping away further at the bottom of the course into 9th place, and unfortunately unlikely to progress into the final. So Mirgorodski leads for Slovakia ahead of Tassiadis of Germany and Žugu of Ireland. Next up, the world champion of 2021 from the Czech Republic, Václav Chaluka. And you can hear the crowd starting to really get energized.
Yeah, very excited to see this run. Vaclav on his home course, world champion. This could be very, very fast.
Of course, 3 Czechs already in the women's canoe final at 11:30 today, Central European time. You can follow that live at Planet Canoe. And how many Czechs will we see? Oh, he's rejected 9 to 10.
No.
So he had got the advantage, and he's not going to go back for that. And the world champion is eliminated at this stage in the competition.
Unbelievable. If anyone you think, would be able to dial that move in, it would be, Vaclav on his home course. Just shows how difficult it is.
Well, you saw that he was up on the split. He was absolutely in charge, but the margins are fine. He was relying on that kick from 9 to 10, and it just didn't happen. So there's drama here. First big name, and I'm sure not the only big name that's going to miss out on a place in the final.
Yeah, we seem to be following suit of the women's C1 semi-final. A lot of big names struggling with the key moves in this course.
So Chalupka, the world champion of 2021, doesn't get his 2022 World Cup season off to the start he would have wanted. But we still have 2 more Czechs to go in this men's canoe semi-final. So stopping the clock, 1:56.50, down in 17th place. So not long before we start to confirm our finalists, and at the moment our race leader Marko Mirkorodski of Slovakia looking very, very secure for a place in the final. Paolo Cecco of Italy now coming into the first of our 6 upstream gates, and well, an early penalty. That's not the start he wanted.
Yeah, let's see how we can adapt with that early touch, whether it will motivate him or it'll be his undoing. We'll wait and see. But looking good, looks like he's switched back on. Very strong paddler. So yeah, and a few good results there. When he's on, he has the ability to be quite fast.
So that 2-second penalty confirmed, and we'll get an idea on the split. Well, 2.5 down. Oh, and rejected there. 10 to 11. Is he going to go back for it? Well, even if he does, it's game over now. He's lost too much time.
Wow, yeah, another victim. It's unbelievable. That move just seems to be so challenging.
So we saw people yesterday in the kayak semi-finals and finals struggling with that move. We saw the Olympic champion Joe Clark, straight line 9, 10, 11, but just missed 10.
Yeah, my team member Lucien Delfort, also flipping, capsizing there. He said he couldn't remember the last time he capsized in a race, so goes to show.
Yeah, well, canoe slalom doesn't respect reputations, unfortunately. It can be brutal. You can go from hero to zero in a matter of moments.
That's it. It's a very humbling sport, that's for sure.
So Paolo Cecco paddling out his final part of this semi-final. It's not going to be a place in the final today, but at the moment the top 3 are looking more and more comfortable for a place in the final, and that's Mirkorodski of Slovakia, Tasiadis of Germany, and Jigu of Ireland. They'll have a long wait to see, well, the likes of Jay Cochran, who's sitting in 4th place, has had a long wait already. Not long before he starts to get an indication of whether it's going to be good enough.
Yeah, it's going to be very close, I think. I think Liam might be safe. It's going to be interesting. There's a bit of a gap there.
So Nicolas Gestin of France on course now, and another paddler picking up a penalty on the first upstream gate, gate 2. Gestin is under 23 world champion from last year. He was 4th at the World Championship, so had a great season in 2021. And well, he also made 2 World Cup finals. So really, what can he do at the start of this 2022 season?
Yeah, a great young paddler. That classic French style, lots of speed on the boat, paddle always in the water. They seem to generate speed out of nowhere. That's kind of the beauty of the French style, I think.
So very fluid would be how I describe the French style. And,
yeah.
Coming through 16 nicely. We'll get a second split time, which will give an indication of where he's at. Well, in touch, 2.1 off Mirkorodski's time, means he's in touch with second place at the moment.
Not a bit early there, but
yeah, not the tidiest move on 19.
Yeah, you see the early spin cost him, generating that little bit too much speed downstream and missing the wave and having to catch that second wave into the up.
But he's super tight into 21. That's a little bit like Tassiadis of Germany. But it looks like if you take the tight line, you do have to accept you're going to hit the wall.
Yeah, it seems that way. That wall's, been wreaking havoc on a few different people.
Nicolas Justin of France stops the clock in 4th place, 104.45. And, well, that includes a 2-second penalty. Top 3 are clean. Will that be the difference in the end? He's certainly put himself in the mix.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be interesting. That touch could prove to be costly.
Matej Benuš of Slovakia sets off for his semi-final run. Can he get to the final? Very accomplished paddler. He's won medals at World, European, Olympic level. He's won the World Cup overall. And, well, what can he do here? Always ducking and diving, and certainly super tight on 6.
Yeah, looking very tight, but very fast at the moment. A very big and strong paddler.
Yeah, he must be one of the tallest paddlers on the circuit.
Yeah, absolutely.
But look at that, 1.38, the advantage on the top section.
Navigating that tricky stagger very, very easily.
So I believe he's won 17 World Cup medals in his career. That's a pretty impressive stat.
Yeah, wow. So we should be expecting him to make it into this final then. All goes to plan on this bottom section.
So there is a review on gate 10. I don't know what the context is on there, but the important thing is no penalty showing at the moment. And he is, well, having said that, he has picked up a penalty and he had dropped some time in the middle section.
Interesting, first paddler we've seen go spin on 18 and 19. I don't know if that was because he was a little bit late potentially, but didn't cost too much time. A good save potentially for Benuš there.
So Benuš just needs to keep his focus. Last 2 gates on the course. He is in touch, but the penalty is potentially threatening a place in the final. Benuš stops the clock in 4th place. It is provisional. There is still a review going on gate 10. But Benuš for Slovakia goes into 4th place. And we are getting towards, in fact, we are into the final 10. So we will now start to be able to confirm who our 10 finalists are as we watch. For Slovenia, Luka Božič on course.
Again, similar to the French, the classic Slovenian style, very fluid, as you say, very smooth. Just keeping the boat running and just hanging on to every little bit of speed generated.
Yeah, and I always think Luka makes it look like he's not trying. But as we've talked about already, then it's those kind of runs where it looks effortless that they're often deadly fast.
That's right, yeah.
So penalty picked up on the downstream gate 8, just looked like he brushed it with his paddle shaft. Now, going to work a little bit harder into 13 than he might have liked. And a review going on the downstream gate 7, but maybe that's been completed.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see this next split. He's got a little bit of work to do to sort of guarantee himself into that final.
So we're live in Prague at the Czech Republic. It's myself, Andy Muddock, alongside me, Brodie Crawford of the Australian team. And we're starting to get in the sharp end of this men's canoe semi-final here. And Luka Božič is still holding on to that 4.4 down on the second split, but he's not out of this by any means. And that is how to do 21.
Yeah, he was very good on the last 2 upstreams, so I think it's going to be very close to that final mark here. It's going to be a close finish. He needs to really sprint for the line here.
So Božič coming towards the finish and into 4th place, 104.15. And, well, I should also, at the same time, confirm that Matej Benuš has been given a second penalty. So Matej Benuš has slipped down to 7th place for Slovakia. But for Slovakia, it's good news. Marko Mierkorodski is our first competitor who is confirmed into the final. On course now, Denis Gargo-Chanou of France sets off. He is the reigning World Cup champion. He's obviously an Olympic champion of Rio 2016, world champion 2011, and a European champion. So he's won every title there is to have on the circuit, but he's always hungry for more. And of course, the Paris 2024 Olympic Games, the home games, beckons for the French team. Oh. Wow, is that a 50?
Jeez.
We'll have to wait and see what the judges say. They've certainly called it to start with, and they will review that. But another big error on that tricky section. Well, Denis Gargaud-Chanou will not necessarily know what the judges have given him. He'll be looking to continue down the course and deliver it as much as he can, but a 50-second penalty on gate 10 will, well, it won't help him as he looks to defend his World Cup title. Five races in the World Cup this season. Start here in Prague, then we go to Krakow next weekend in Poland, and then we're into Slovenia to Tarzen, and then we have a break before we go to Pau in the end of August in France, and then Seo for double points in early September. Wow, this is a sensational outcome here. It is being reviewed, gate 10, but I think from his body language he knows.
Yeah, it looks like, he's sort of just floating to the finish there.
So it's not going to be for Denis Gargaud-Chanou. The reigning World Cup champion is eliminated at this stage of the competition. Germany's Sideris Tassiadis will join the race leader Marko Mirgorodsky of Slovakia in the final. Wojciech Heger for the Czech Republic goes down the course. We've already seen Václav Chalutka, the world champion, eliminated. So the Czech hopes now down to 2 boats still to run, including Hager.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if Hager can show us the Czech speed on this course. It's interesting to watch him paddle because he swaps so frequently from right to left with his blade. Obviously that gives him a little bit more strength and power on that onside. And it's something that not a lot of paddlers are doing, so it's good to see. Oh!
Wow, that was, I don't think he's lost any time there. 1.7 was, he was up on the split.
Disappearing into that stopper for a second there.
Well, I think if you blinked, you might not have seen that he had a roll there. So superb stuff, but he's definitely on the edge and he needs to just control it, compose himself, and make sure he stays on the money on the bottom part of the course.
Yeah, he's still in touch, unbelievable.
So 2.3 down, but that's still in touch with a place in the final, because that's at the moment good enough for 3rd place and would take an automatic qualification spot. Whips it round on the upstream 20, and that lights up the crowd.
He's doing an unbelievably good job staying composed after such a massive mistake, and it would be very sort of shocking as well. So very impressive finish.
So now 1 gate to go. He's sprinting for a place in the final, and surely this is enough. And yes, into 4th place. So he will have to wait for a place in the final, but almost certainly he will get in. And Liam Jacou, well done. Ireland, you are in the final.
Wow, such an impressive run there from Wojciech.
Well, he was on the edge all the way down.
No, it's not too often you see it capsize and then someone qualify for a World Cup final.
Alexander Slavkovsky for Slovakia sets off, and another athlete struggling with the first upstream gate, gate 2. Well, Jessica Fox hit the upstream gate 2 yesterday. It didn't stop her taking gold. So Alexander now will just be making sure that he can do enough to get through into the final. And then everyone starts from 0 in that 10-boat final.
Yeah, Alexander's such an experienced and consistent paddler. I'm sure he will be used to a touch and being able to, adapt and make up the time. He's looking good so far. Yeah, back composed. And
multiple World Cup Series winner, and hugely experienced. He is 39 years old, but he's determined to get one last shot at going to the Olympic Games in Paris, having missed out because there's only 1 boat per nation, and such is the strength of the Slovak team that despite the fact that he's probably been ranked in the top 3 in the world for most of those games, then he's not gone. But now, with penalties clocking up.
Yeah, just a little bit late there on 19 and having to sort of throw the head in just to get the gate, get the touch.
So there is a review on gate 18. I think there's definitely a touch. Oh, sorry, no, that was gate 19. He's got the touch, and I think he's going to be okay, but it's going to be tight.
Yeah, I think he's going to be just outside.
You're right. 11th, Alexander Slavkovsky, another big name, goes out at this stage in the competition. But that, well, the Czechs will be happy because the Czechs have another finalist. Wojciech Heger will join the 3 women's canoe finalists.
I'm sure the crowd is very happy to see that. It wouldn't be a Czech final without the crowd being able to go crazy.
Lukáš Rohan now for the Czech Republic, the Olympic silver medalist from Tokyo and the winner of this event, the World Cup last year. We can expect big things.
Yeah, I'm sure Luca would have so much confidence coming into this race after last year's World Cup. He's so fast, and let's see how he goes through this stop and move. A little bit held up, but adapted very well.
So half a second down on race leader Mirka Rotsky of Slovakia, but that's no drama. He's very much in touch with a place in the final, and well, he may well have found some time in this middle section. But having said that, Mirka Rotsky was good here as well.
Yeah, very fast. This is looking really nice though.
Well, you can hear the crowd here. The crowd is just so close to the action. It's a great experience, and well, you either thrive with that or you find it a challenge.
Yeah, absolutely. He seems to be thriving today though. He's doing well. He's still in touch, a couple seconds down, but so far good on the bottom. Let's have a look at this last upstream. It's important to be nice and tight and a high into the eddy.
Well,
oh,
he has picked up a 2-second penalty on gate 20. It's being reviewed, but at the moment it is showing as awarded. So Lukáš Rohan is not a shoe-in for the final. He's going to be close, and he is inside into 5th place. So it is a provisional result. There's still an asterisk against his name, but provisionally Lukáš Rohan joins Wojciech Heger, 2 boats from the Czech Republic, into the final, along with Liam Žuku, Sidiris Tasiadis and Marko Mirka-Rotsky.
The first person to qualify with a touch as well. Shows the importance of going clean today.
5 boats to go in this men's C1 semi-final. And on course for Germany, Timo Trummer.
Timo, another a German paddler, characteristically strong, the Germans, and very aggressive and just really good at generating speed from nowhere, really.
And everyone's so looking forward to going to Augsburg for the World Championships, and had not been a World Championships on there since 2003 on the iconic course from the 1972 Olympics, celebrating 50 years since those games. And Timo, well, he set off well, 1.5 seconds up, but he's cancelled that out with that touch on 13.
Yeah, blistering top section. Just needs to, maintain composure and keep going to the bottom, because he's still well and truly, just too tight on that gate, and picking up another 2-second penalty. He's going to have to go now.
So it's Slovenia's Luka Bozic who is sitting on the bubble now, waiting to see whether he's done enough for the place in the final. His time, 1:04.15, and as we watch Timo Trummer on the bottom section, Bozic looking more and more comfortable for a place in that final. Tight in, a good move there from Trummer. Has to work really hard there. 2 gates to go, but he's going to be outside of the automatic qualification time. The time slipping away now, and Trummer stops the clock for Germany. 1:08.34 into 15th place. So disappointment there for the young German, but the experienced Luka Bozic for Slovenia. Well done, you're in the final. Next up, Adam Burgess for Great Britain. 4th place at the Tokyo Olympic Games, and silver medal from the European Championships here on this course, but another paddler picking up a 2-second penalty on the first upstream.
Yeah, it's so uncharacteristic. I don't know what it is about that upstream, but so many touches there. Adam's such a smooth paddler, such a good paddler to watch, and very flexible. I know he focuses a lot on his flexibility, does a lot of yoga and things like that, but also very strong at the same time. So it's a great combo.
Well, he's ducking and diving, but he has picked up another penalty on the downstream gate 8. So Burgess, well, 2 seconds down on the first split, but another penalty on 13, and surely there's no way back from the penalties. He's certainly got the pace.
Yeah, just not quite precise enough with his bow to that bow. Just little touches, not quite in the right position. It's such fine margins.
I mean, even just the line there, 15-16 was spot on, but he's just got too much to do now. 8 seconds in penalties showing, and unfortunately for Adam Burgess of Great Britain, this is unlikely to make it through into the final. So at the moment it is Nicolas Gestin of France who is sitting on the bubble, and I think Nicolas, you can start getting ready, because it looks like you are in the final. Adam Burgess now outside of that automatic qualification time, paddling it down the course and showing 10 seconds of penalties and into 19th place. That time, 1:01. It's a good time, but plus 10. And, well, that's your bus fare home, I'm afraid.
It's unbelievable looking at that results sheet, just seeing the amount of penalties on this course. It's very, very uncharacteristic of semi-final.
Benjamin Savcek of Slovenia, the Olympic champion, is on course. And, of course, he was the European champion just a few weeks ago, winning that title for the 4th time.
Yeah, it looks like he's maintaining his Olympic form, and he's looking really good this season. Such a smooth paddler. He never looks like he's working hard, but just he's always going so fast. You struggle to understand how he does it.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like even there, you just saw how quick he was able to get back on the power of gate 7 to get across to 8. He's 1 second up, but he's just brushed that pole, hasn't he, on gate 11, confirmed with a 2-second penalty. So that's cancelled out the advantage, but the job here is to get a time inside 1:05.68 for automatic qualification to the final. The athletes are raced reverse order in that 10-boat final of the performance in this semi-final. And of course, that'll be straight away after the women's C1 final at 11:30 Central European time today.
Yeah, Benny's still looking well and truly in touch. Only 1.7 seconds astray from the leader. So, if anyone can absorb penalties, it's him. His raw speed is so good.
Well, he looks super composed, doesn't he? He's not taking any risks. He's solid, and yes, there is a little bit of a review going on, but I think we're looking at our next confirmed finalist. The Olympic champion, he's a world champion and a multiple European champion. Benjamin Savcek of Slovenia. You are into second place and into the final provisionally, but actually he could afford a couple more penalties if required.
98 rods, that's quick.
So at the moment, Mirgorodsky, Savcek, Tasiadis, Shuku, Heger, Rohan, Bozic and Gestin confirmed. Now Franz Anton for Germany, the world champion of 2018, and another paddler setting off and taking a penalty on 2 and 3.
Oh wow, early touches again. We have Jake Cochran waiting to qualify too, so it could be a 2 Irish boat final. I don't know if that's ever happened in canoe slalom history. So
that would be great.
Yeah.
And at the moment, well, we'll have to wait and see. Franz Anton, you would always put down as an experienced paddler, but again, similar to Adam Burgess from Great Britain, we've just seen, he's putting in the lines, he's running the boat, but he's just picking up those penalties. +6 now showing.
Yeah, just not quite on the line today, just slightly off, and if you're slightly off in this course, it's so unforgiving. Just touches coming, everywhere for that France today.
So it would appear a 50-second penalty has been given to Franz on gate 8.
Gate 8, yeah.
And so the world champion of 2018 is not going to progress through into the final. So that's another big news, but that's fantastic news for Ireland's Jake Cochrane, who will be confirmed as our next finalist. 2 Irish boats in this World Cup final. And, well, what a story that is. Franz knows that. He's paddling out his run. And the German has to settle for, not sure what position that is, but it's well down the order because of that 50-second penalty on gate 8.
Yeah, very uncharacteristic to see those sort of mistakes from Franz. I'm sure he'll bounce back for next weekend in Krakow.
The last boat down, the fastest from the heats. Kasper Stuber of Poland sets off for his quest to make this World Cup final. We're live in Prague in the Czech Republic, and essentially it is a competition between Matej Benuš of Slovakia and Kasper Stuber, but drama already. He's missed gate 5. And
yeah, just a little bit late on gate 4 and not picking up the wave quite enough, and now recircling and losing a lot of time on that sequence.
Well, yeah, as you say, it's he has the opportunity now to carry on. He hasn't picked up any penalties, but there's no way back into the final from there. So unfortunately for Kasper Stuber of Poland, then his competition will end here at the semi-final stage. And, well, he'll be looking forward to racing next weekend in the second World Cup of the season in Krakow in Poland. And you, of course, can follow that live at Planet Canoe. One thing I am interested in, and whilst we perhaps have the opportunity to talk about it, Brodie, is extreme slalom. How many of the canoe athletes are really starting to take extreme slalom seriously?
It seems like most of them are starting to take it up. Yeah, it's definitely a change, paddling from the one side to the two, but yeah, I've been paddling a little bit. Our selection policy favours the kayaks, but it does also leave one spot open for the top canoe paddler. So that's sort of how Australia's doing it, and I've seen a lot of the canoe paddlers in boats racing, so it's really good to see.
Yeah, and it'd be interesting if anyone who's selected for the games, unless they're selected outright in extreme slalom, will be able to do the extreme slalom competition.
Yeah, that's right. So it's important that we all get training and medals are up for grabs. So,
and of course you can follow the extreme slalom head-to-head racing this afternoon, 4:30 Central European time. We'll be that live. But unfortunately for the fastest boat in the heats, Kasper Stuber of Poland, it's 30th place, and that's where his competition ends. So disappointment there for the young Polish athlete, but it is Marko Mierkorowski who goes through as the winner of the semi-final, the only person under 100 second total for Slovakia. Benjamin Samsek, the Olympic champion, in second, and Sideris Tassiadis, the Olympic medalist, for Germany in third. So here are the results of the men's canoe semi-final here in Prague in the Czech Republic, and Mir Korotsky of Slovakia, the fastest. He'll go off last in the final. And well, some big names have gone out, but these are the big hitters. We'll obviously see the Olympic champion in action in the final, but people who've missed out, the likes of Alexander Slavkovsky, the world #1, Ryan Wesley also missing out as well. Denis Gargaud-Chanou, the Olympic champion, world champion and European champion. And well, he fell victim to the top of the course, that tricky gate 10 sequence. So those are our finalists. And of course, we will be live here at Planet Canoe with the women's canoe final and then the men's canoe final, 11:30 Central European time. We've got the extreme slalom head-to-head finals at 4:30 this afternoon, Central European time. But a big thank you to Brodie Crawford of the Australian team. Thanks for joining me in the booth.
Pleasure. Thanks for inviting me. It was great. Great watching. I think the story was penalties for the semi-final. I think 4 runs were clean, which is pretty crazy from that semi-final today.
Well, thanks, Brodie, and bye for now from me, Andy Maddock.
Thank you.